This is a video about LEC predictability in the jungle. Like you will see 99% of the games will be a full clear. So this is not about drafting or composition, which should be a video in itself. But just to summarize, 3 items and out, Team Heretics will crush them. It's so easy to play. Sejuani, press R and you blow up a target. Fnatic, on the other hand, needs to do something. They should have a lead, and they will be at their strongest on 1, but especially 2 items compared to Heretics. And also they should have a lead, about 2.5 items against 2. Also, the issue besides composition is Fnatic's engage, quote unquote, is so telegraphed. It's a flank from Poby with flash alt, or it's an Ambassador. And Pantheon usually is fine, um, but because of trash, it's so much more difficult for Pantheon to actually do something. And I don't even consider like Braum a main engage. It's barely a secondary engage because they kind of need to be slowed or hard CC already for him to be good at that. So, um, I do think Heretics Comp is so much easier to play and much better, but that is not um, the theme of the video. It's about um, how LEC don't do anything. They literally full clear every game, and we will take a look now. So, um, it should be said who should have prior and stuff like that, but just don't focus on that. Just focus on Pantheon. Pantheon star bot side, and he will probably like do a full clear like they always do, which is so sad. And notice Fnatic put a ward on Raptors. So with this full clear, we should take a look at who is the most volatile matchup, and that's obviously top lane. It's Ambessa against Camille, and LCK used to use a few patches ago Camille as a counter pick into Ambessa, quote unquote counter pick. Not because of early game, but mid and late game, she should be winning side lanes. Obviously, it's skill dependent, so it's not like you just win by default. But that's the most volatile matchup because Lucian Braum obviously a strong trading lane, but Flacket, like Aphelios and Trash, kinda just want to AFK farm. Same in mid, but in general, every lane of Fnatic should try to trade quite heavily. So Pantheon actually could look for ganks, but that's also an issue. Fnatic doesn't necessarily have the right matchups to trade as heavily as they want to, and also the problem is that in this case specifically, Fnatic just literally FK farm. Like Pantheon should be looking to be quote unquote inefficient. He should skip 1, maybe 2 camps to look for a gank, look for a dive, put pressure in lanes. Because it's not like Fnatic can't outplay in late game. They can. And also they should be stronger 1 or 2 items. The issue is that the window is quite small compared to other compositions. It's not like they have a stagger comp where they have 1 or 2 champions really strong early game and transition good into mid game, and then you have 1, maybe 2 really strong late game. Like they stagger their comp. They have literally all in 2 items out. We're gonna steamroll you composition, and if that fails, it's just GG. So if we look at Pantheon down here, he just full clears, and it will be so easy to play for Heretics. They just farm, And then they just wait until Pantheon is topside. Camilo can just hug. He's getting pushed, and then he bounced the waves. When Pantheon has taken 3 camps, he hugs bot side. And it's so easy for Carlson too, because he knows like every LEC jungler will just full clear, so he pushes it in, then he bounces the wave, he waits until 3 minutes plus a little bit, like around 3 minutes and 10 seconds or something like that. He put up wards, let the wave fucking bounce back, and he's fine. And then Team Heretics jungler just knows, okay, he started bot, I will just take the other crab. And then about 5 minutes is gone and you haven't done anything. You haven't got the prio, you haven't tried to look for a gank, and then 5 minutes is gone, where you actually should try to look for something, especially when you don't have a stagger composition. Um, and also, you don't see any invades at all, because what's normal after like 5 minutes is the traditional lane swap, and we will come to that as well. So just take a look. Notice something. This is what I mean. Sejuani took the crab, Pantheon took the crab, Poppy hugs the side where he knows his jungler is, and Camilo does the same. It's literally, and when the wave is in the middle, because it's Rise into Annie, it's like Rise can, like after the next back, he can force more or less prio whenever he wants into that matchup. It's not that. But there is no chance in hell to get a gank off. So it's so easy for Heretics to play. Also, I think the drafting was kind of a big issue, but that's something else. And now Carlson just get the wave bounce back because you know Pantheon is topside. He's not low enough to get dove. Obviously, he didn't even need to use a bot. And then Camilo soft trades. He will back pretty soon. Last of his mana, I assume, to just okay, he's trading. I thought he would bounce, but I guess he's bouncing it anyway. And now notice something. Fnatic used quote unquote the tempo to lane swap. And this is quite standard in almost every game, especially in Korea and LPL. But we should be thinking a little bit about the lane swap. Okay, so Fnatic got really strong on 2 items and they kind of need to do something. But with this lane swap, who suffer most? Like, sure, Carlson will get XP, probably issue farming and so on, but do you kind of want to lane swap? Do you really want to lane swap when the enemy got an Aphelios literally free scaling? Or do you try to what? Do you want to try to keep it down? Actually, it's quite difficult the 2v2 the later it goes, so I kind of understand what Fnatic is doing, and also they want the grubs, and Heretics probably shouldn't try to contest it. But notice something: Oscarinen also used TP, so it depends a little bit if Carson just recalls and walk downs or use the TP. But this is kind of the issue. Don't even look at the goal; it's completely even. But and it probably will be early on. But with this, when the lane swap always come in, full clear always come in, it's so predictable. So you kind of can predict at least the almost 10 first minutes. And if you can predict the 10 first minutes and nothing happening, then you can't really play such a heavy early game composition in my opinion. Obviously, if you are super clean, your macro is super clean, you can use prio in all your lanes at 1.5 to 2 items, and you just macro and team fights better, sure. But that's kind of the issue. And it's so easy to dive and invest as well. He Oscarina used the TP, and this is just a disaster. Like, the game is instantly GG. And also, it's kind of interesting to notice because they swap. So you kind of gambling here that Sejuani actually were backing, and you knew Carlson had TP, and and I don't understand why they would assume that uh, Aphelios would swap, like match the swap, because I feel Team Heretics literally don't need to do anything. They just need to scale. If they can predict the 10 first minutes and just be AFK, they are happy, because at 20-25 minutes they will just steamroll you. So yeah, that is one of the bigger issues in LEC. Um, I think it's just too predictable every game. So I hope we will see a little bit different, especially with such a strong early mid game composition. But yeah, that's at least one of the issues.